That was
Your timing
perfect
is
timing.
horrible.
That was perfect timing.
Your timing is horrible.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the 15th edition of the Startup Mac Vlog. My name is Conwell II, a.k.a. Mac, and here's my wonderful laughing co-host.
Hey everyone, it's Alegado. I'm just going to say flat out that Mac, your laugh is so contagious.
It wasn't my
Seriously.
fault. As you notice, we have way too much fun doing this vlog. Just way too much fun.
That's
But
awesome.
today's a special vlog because, as most of you probably know, my co-host Kate is a social media specialist. And so today, we're going to be talking to her about social media marketing for startups.
Yes, social media marketing. And I'm just going to say I've been kind of slacking on mine, but that's one of the things that we actually run into, is that sometimes we're like, go, 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 110% in terms of getting our news out, maybe about our startup, or even about like what we're doing on a daily basis that'll help out our teams and our businesses. And then suddenly you just get inundated with different projects, or life events happen to the best of us as entrepreneurs, and you kind of get a standstill and your social media kind of plummets down or just plateaus. But what we're going to talk about is actually trying to upkeep it, especially if you haven't even started your social media. So, Mac, just a really quick question on your end is when, I guess, like starting off and really going 110% on your social media, at what point did you kind of hit that plateau or that wall?
The plateau where my social media started to fall off?
Yeah.
I hit that plateau when I stopped being consistent. So I've been consistent so long while my company was running. When you get into those slow periods, when there's not a lot happening, not a lot of action going on, you get complacent and you don't message as much, and you start to see your social media engagement fall off. It's so important to be consistent. That's the one thing I've learned. But I'm going to ask you, Kate, as the expert. So, how do you get started?
You know
Let's
what?
say you have a company, and
Yeah.
I have this really great idea. I put a team together. We're building, but now I want to start creating, a little bit of buzz. How do I get started? What do I do? Tell me.
Don't go on all social media. Just
Okay.
saying.
Elaborate, please.
So one of the things when people think of social media, either you get completely overwhelmed because you're thinking, oh, I have to be on LinkedIn, I have to be on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, everything, all these networks that I've never ever touched and people are always talking about, like, where do I find the time for that? Well, let me just make your life and my life a lot easy and say, depends on who your target market is, and also it depends on what your product and what news you're actually trying to share. So the best thing is, I would actually utilize Redberry as a great example, since it's Mac's startup, and it's about to boost up. So Mac has a really, really great talent on utilizing Twitter, and Twitter is primarily used for actually sharing news. So any press releases or any great company announcements, like, yeah, shoot out your news there. It's a really great conversation where a lot of reporters go to, and actually a lot of pretty high status people that are just looking for news about different things, right? But Redberry is also a platform where it's actually solving an issue that Instagram users are really, really striving for. So biggest thing is that why would Redberry even get on Tumblr? Why would Redberry even get on Facebook? Sure, you can put Redberry across everything and just hoping that you're getting different target markets on, but really find that platform where it actually leverages. So Redberry is an e-commerce platform. So whatever your platform is or whatever your industry, always base that particular social media platform on that. So since we're talking about Redberry, e-commerce is huge on Instagram. not because people are taking selfies, but if people are taking selfies and they're taking selfies with like incredible clothing, may it be high-end products such as Chanel, or even just your daily snapbacks that you can get, which I'm a huge fan of. Like, biggest issue on that one is that I can go to Instagram and love all those items, but I just honestly don't know how to buy it. And that's one of the things that Redberry solves, is that you can just do instantaneous purchase. But before that Redberry product or that app actually launches, Instagram is your primary platform where you can actually reach out to that target audience. Another one that I would actually highly suggest that Redberry can get on is also Tumblr, because Tumblr, if people really don't know, is that it's huge, huge, huge in terms of demographics on young females, and you know that females just love to shop. And if you're not on Tumblr, there's a lot of high-end fashion and even just mid-scale fashion items that are on there that people just love sharing about different fashion ideas or recommended makeup or accessories for the season. So that's just an example of ensuring that you're not jumping on social networks and thinking that you have to be across every single platform. Look at the platform, find your industry, know where your target market is. And it does take a lot of research. I don't know, Mac, did you do it? Like, you did research prior to you getting on all these social medias, right?
For Redberry, yes. For the other ones, no. I just utilized the social medias I already had. And I was kind of learning as I went. Like, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just kind of trying to learn as I went through. I got lucky. Whatever I did worked out, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I wish I'd had somebody like you helping me at the time. So you mentioned different platforms being good for different industries. Can you elaborate? Can you tell us about certain platforms and industries they work best with or worse with?
Yeah, so I'm going to really, really emphasize that Twitter is really, really great in terms of just bringing out the news. So just think of daily news announcements of your business. That is just extremely, extremely great. Conversational-wise, I know that Mac has this really cool trick in terms of getting all these cold tweets out there and getting investors, but it's also a really great source for reporters, like I said before. Tumblr is actually a really good platform for product-based, just because a lot of the statuses or the posts that are being shared are very image-focused. So if you have a GIF on there that you have that about your product or just something really funny, that gets like really, really viral on Tumblr really quick. Facebook, I would say that with the current status and all the changes that it has on a business perspective, I mean, you can get on there, but it just really won't benefit you, especially with all the changes that had occurred with all these different likes and subscribes and the lack of traction that businesses are getting. But I would say that as an entrepreneur, both Mac and I actually utilize this when we both started in the tech industry, is finding those specific groups. So it's not even primarily getting your business page up, but more so it's on that personal branding sense, on getting known to be an entrepreneur, getting known, asking for different advices of how to best improve your business or your product based on that specific group. So groups that I'm talking about is it the Baltimore Tech Group, right? Or is it
Yes.
Baltimore Tech?
Baltimore Tech Group.
Yeah, so Baltimore Tech Group, both Mac and I are a part of that group, where it's just all these startup entrepreneurs just conversing on local news, their own startups, and also different projects that they're currently working on, and they're really looking for different feedback. So that's not really particularly straight to your target audience per se, but more so that these are people that could potentially give you money or could potentially give you insights on how to best improve your product. So that's Facebook. You know, Mac gets on me on this one, but since we're using Google Hangout, I think Google Plus is great.
Yes, please elaborate to everybody about why Google Plus is great. You are like the one person outside of a few other people I know who love Google Plus. Now, I do know Google Plus is awesome for authors.
Yes.
My significant other, my girlfriend, is a writer, and she's in Guy Kawasaki's group from 8. You know, he made this book, Author, Publisher, Entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
and they have a whole group of authors, and there's a wealth of knowledge in that, Google Plus group. I didn't realize there was such a wealth of knowledge on Google Plus. But can you please elaborate to everybody who thinks Google Plus is dead or Google Plus sucks? Please tell them why Google Plus is the most awesome thing in the world. Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome in advance. But honestly, Google Plus is probably as equivalent to Facebook, where if you go on Facebook, a lot of it is just personal sense. Like, I share personal items with like friends and family that are close to me, but I utilize the groups. I'm just going to emphasize that groups are so critical with social networks that have those specific platforms. So on Google Plus, I don't even identify Google Plus as a social network. Like, if you're listening and you completely disagree with me, please, let's have conversation on this. I look at Google Plus as more of an what do you call it? Just confirming your identity as both as an entrepreneur and also as a business, because like, Google is a powerhouse. Anything that you write on the web that has your name on it, anything that you share on the web that has your name on it, Google is ranking you. And if the only way they can rank you is through Google Plus. And oh wait, let me just verify the term. It's a verification platform. So it might be information that's being shared, but it just simply verifies your identity. So one great example is that, let's just say Redberry gets on the news, right? So
Yes.
sure, Mac shares it on Twitter, shares it on Facebook, shares it on Tumblr, and Google could, honestly, probably won't even rank those. But if you share that news and that link where the original source is on Google Plus, make sure that you're actually utilizing your both business page and your personal page, Google will rank that source because you're utilizing their platform. And they're going to actually index it, meaning that, hey, McKeever Conwell got news on Redberry. So both Bing Bing, Redberry gets a point up, and Mac gets a point.
Just as a couple points
What is it?
about Google Plus. We lost you for a second, but you're back. Go ahead.
How did you lose me? That's so
I
weird.
don't know.
That's weird. But I was.
You were getting too excited about Google Plus.
Yeah, because it's so cool.
Hangout got too excited. Hangout got overly excited.
Yes, but as I said, both Redberry and McKeever Conwell gets points up if you utilize those tags and hashtags appropriately on Google+. But like you said earlier, I mean, I'm not going to repeat, but groups are really critical, not only because you're indexing those different sources, but more so that you're getting people that are actually already powerhouses of those different platforms to be more engaged in you, meaning that you're just going to improve your personal brand.
Quick note on that. Can you give us an example of a startup that used these groups effectively to help grow their customer base?
Honestly, this is actually really interesting. A lot of the groups that started and that are having like thousands of members in it were actually started by a startup or even by a small business. And they've simply become subject matter expert of it. So I don't want to identify a group like strictly, but I'm just going to utilize Redberry just for safe purposes. So if Redberry started a Google Plus group, they wouldn't call it Redberry, right? More so, you probably would just identify as how to, I don't know, what's a good e-commerce?
Daily fashion tips.
Yeah, so like daily fashion tips, or just simply a fashion group. So you're gonna pretty much leverage that side brand and just say that Redberry is hosting this. It's monitoring these conversations. It's inviting all these well-known brands into this group that can help additional new e-commerce merchants, or even people that are just looking for products that they're trying to improve on. So that would be the best way on leveraging on how a startup can actually get more involved in Google+. And I'm not going to lie, all these social platforms are very, very strenuous in terms of making sure that you have enough time to actually post. And I mean, it doesn't have to be your personal effort. It can be a group effort. I don't know if you haven't watched the vlog before this, we were actually talking about personal branding. And Mac was saying how sometimes your team members don't want to do it. But I honestly, it's a big push. Like, have your whole company involved. It might just be one Google plus like or plus one a day or a like on this post or a share on this post. Those little minor sharing and likes and comments really boost so much in terms of branding across social networks. So I'm not going to lie, it's going to be really strenuous, but once you get up that uphill, it'll help you prevent from hitting that plateau and that wall.
Awesome. This has been a great conversation. A lot of great advice from Kate. Thank you so much. I think we came to the end of this video.
Yeah.
We'll see you again next week, everybody. If you have any questions, anything you want to know, learn, anything you want to add to the conversation, please tweet us or email us. All our information is in the description below. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.